Greetings, Jews, Dudettes, Perseverance, Genders and Persuasions. How are you all doing? Okay, I hope. So, anyway, as the title of this video suggests, anybody that knows me knows my mum's been in hospital the last few weeks. And to be honest, I haven't really wanted to talk much about it. Because obviously it's my mum, you know. So, this is basically just me giving, you know, briefly what's been going on, and you know, so yeah, if you're not interested, then either skip to the end or just cut this video off now and don't carry on watching, because obviously it's going to be more like obviously personal to me because it's my mum, and if it might upset you, then again, don't watch it. And it's going to have, like, obviously might have some sort of trigger issues in it, because I'm going to be talking about hospitals and drugs that my mum's been given, and I'm probably going to get a bit upset while I'm talking about it as well. So yeah, so now's your chance to either skip to the end or cut it off right now. Okay, good. Okay, to those of you still with me, thanks for watching. So anyway, basically about 7-ish weeks ago, my mum had a fall. Now, she's been having problems with her mobility for ages anyway, and she tried to get out of bed and couldn't get up again. So they send out all like these like community nurses and what have you, and they work with her to go, right, okay, how can we help? What do you need, you know, to help you move around and get more mobile and do this, that and so and so. So the nurses had decided they were going to put her out like this like retirement home place, but it would have been like intense physiotherapy for a couple of weeks to help her get mobile again, so she could learn how to walk properly, because she walks really weird, and help her with stairs and things like that. So anyway, we were all set. Yep, the doctor was due to come out to give her a last minute check over before she went out to this place. And when he came out, my mum was complaining her shoulder was hurting after the fall. So he said, okay, well, we'll pop you down the BRI, which is that big local hospital, Bristol Royal Infirmary, for a few x-rays and see what's going on, and then you can go out to this place for your physio. Yeah, not a problem. My mum was waiting about 6 hours for hospital transport to take her from home out to the BRI. By the time she gets there for her x-rays, it's like 11 o'clock at night. Now, I know we're going to think, oh, why are they taking that so long? Number one, it wasn't a 999 call, so it wasn't an emergency. It was normal hospital transport that had been arranged, and also, at that point, my mum was close to, well, getting close to 30 stone in weight. Those are, put a thing underneath for kilograms. So yeah, she needed what we call like the heavy set ambulance, where they have special lifting equipment to help her get downstairs, because obviously she couldn't get downstairs on her own, and she was too heavy for us like normal people to lift her. So anyway, so by the time she gets to the BRI, it's like 11 o'clock at night. As her x-rays, everything's fine, but the doctor, the consultant at the BRI was like, I'm not happy with her mobility, I'd like to keep her in a couple of days. So we're like, oh, this is not what we wanted. Anyway, they put her up onto like, well, I'll call it an old people's ward, you know, not being rude, I just don't know what else to call it. There's a lot of old people there that had similar problems to my mum. I mean, bearing in mind, my mum is 70. So, yeah, they put her in the right place. But she wasn't, I've been waiting a couple of times to see her, and she wasn't eating properly. She was complaining of pain in her stomach, and she was not happy bunny out there at all. You know, I could see she wasn't doing that great. Again, race concerns and what have you. So while I'm there one time, there again, like the community nurses come out, and they again go through another plan of action as to what she needs doing at home. Does she need a specialised bed? You know, get her physio going and stuff like that. Again, and organise all that. So we think, okay, cool, yeah. She's only going to be in for a few more days, and then they're going to take her to another hospital for intense physio. Brilliant, not a problem. She went in on the Monday, late Monday night, up to the ward Tuesday morning. The Friday night, my auntie Jean, like her sister, went in to see her and said that she wasn't very bright. You know, it's like she was really tired and kept falling asleep, so she left early. And I thought, well, fair enough. She was in a ward with other people that were making noise, and my mum doesn't sleep very well in a ward. Like, who would? When you've got all that noise going on, you don't sleep very well. So anyway, I'm there Saturday morning, sort of around about Patrick's birthday, unfortunately, and I'm making Patrick's birthday cake, and I'm just about to start, and I get a phone call from the hospital, basically saying that my mum had been taken. Sorry, this is where I go. I'm sorry. Basically saying my mum had been taken really ill overnight on the Friday night, and that Saturday morning they actually rushed her down to ICU, which is the intensive care unit. Her kidneys had failed. She was in renal failure, and they basically didn't hold out much hope. So, excuse me. So I make several frantic phone calls on the Saturday morning. As it happens, Patrick was at his dad's, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I phoned his dad, let him know what's going on. Phoned my brother, who was home, and said, we need to get to the hospital now. My husband Chris was already on his way into work. I phoned him up. He goes, I'll meet you at the hospital. If I'm in work a bit late, whatever. I phoned like Gary, like the kid's dad, my ex-husband, and explained to him what's going on. And he was like, "What if you need anything, let me know." Blah blah blah. So, that was when I went into like autopilot, and I was like, right, I need this, this, and this. Obviously I might still have stuff in there, and I'm going, right, I need to do this, picked up my brother, jumped in the car, straight away down to the hospital. So we meet my husband Chris outside. We run straight in down to the intensive care unit. We're told to wait. We're waiting there for about an hour and a half before the consultant on ICU comes out to see us, and he again explains that our mum's in renal failure. At that point in time, they were putting her on all the machines, to monitor like her breathing, her respiration, her oxygen level, her blood pressure. They were putting a line and tubes in her neck, as well as hooking her up with various other drips and blood and God knows what else, all these other machines and things like that. So they put her on basic dialysis to see if that would work. We were then waiting another, well, all in all, we were waiting 3 hours before we could go in and see my mum. At that point, my husband Chris went, so it was just me and my brother. We go down to see her, and it wasn't my mum. Obviously, I mean, the doctor explained that because of the drugs and things, they sort of like mild sedation to keep her calm. Well, they did all the things and what have you, and all the like tubes, and there's like wires and tubes coming out of her neck and out of her hands and her arms. The monitor, I'm looking at the monitor, and it's just like, no. The monitor's just like, I'm looking, she's got like a mega low heart rate, everything was low, everything was in its boots, she was like, psh. And well, me and my brother only sat there for half an hour because like she was in like a private room, and the nurse there, like she had like her own nurse, and the nurse said that we said, you can stay if you want, but because of they've had to sedate her in order to put all the tubes and everything, that she won't be very talkative, she probably won't even know we're there. So we're like, okay, me and my brother stay for half hour, and then we go home. And we'd like just the consultant that came around and spoke to us before we went and seen her basically said this is years and years of mismanagement of her diabetes, and he said like the kidneys is one of your things that you can go that can, so anyway, they basically were saying they put her on dialysis, and it's just like the next 24 hours we'll see how it goes. Wipe my face and blow my nose. So on the Sunday I go back in. I think I was with my ex-husband, I think it was a guy, I can't remember who I was with, it's a bit of a blur, and went in to see her, and it was like, I'm looking at a shell, I'm like, oh, quiet phone, I'm busy. It was like, that's not my mum. That is not my mum. She is making weird noises. It's like she didn't even know I was there. I'm talking to her, and it was like, yeah, it wasn't my mum. I don't know who that was laying in the bed, but it wasn't my mum. And her eyes are closed, and she's just like making weird noises, and it was just like, no. And I'm trying to talk to her, and I'm like, because of course obviously where they put tubes and things like that, she had a little bit of matted blood in the back of her hair, so I'm trying to comb her hair back and go like, Lola, what have you done now, you know, and I'm trying to, well, I cope with things through humour, in case anybody didn't know me, I cope with things through humour, so I'm trying to, you know, make my mum, well, not I'm trying to make her laugh, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying like, look, what have you done now? You know, I can't leave you on your own for 5 minutes, you know, you go and do it. And, you know, I'm trying to like be laughy and jokey, and there's nothing, there's no response from my mum whatsoever. Nothing. So I'm like, I think we stayed for about an hour or so. Spoke to the nurse and that was there, and they said like, well, obviously, some of the stuff that she had in her bag, she wasn't going to need. So we said, okay, well, we'll take her stuff home. Now, usually, if a nurse suggests you take a patient's personal belongings home, that's usually an indication of like, well, yeah, take them home because, you know, they may not be coming home, sort of thing. So anyway, I go in again the Monday and the Tuesday, and it's like she's the same. Her pulse rate and everything else was improving. We spoke to the consultant there on the Monday. So I'm talking to the lady consultant there, and she's saying like how the dialysis is keeping her going, as it were, but she's still not out of the woods yet. She says she's going to get in contact with like this big professor, this like renal expert professor-y type bloke, who will come and have a look at her and let us know what's going on. So I go in on the Wednesday, and they're like, she's been moved to a different bed. And my first thought is like, oh my god, they've moved her somewhere into a corner so she can go quietly, sort of thing. And I'm like, oh my god. And she's wide awake. She's sat up. She's still not quite 100% with it. I had no idea what had happened. Obviously, when she came round, the nurses explained where she was and what was going on. And it was just sort of like, okay. A couple of days ago we were planning your funeral, and now you're looking better. And she was sat up, and she was talking, and she was drinking, and she was like, sort of eating, but not really eating, because obviously she'd been out of it for a few days. She had no idea what was going on. I explained to her, I said, it's now Wednesday, Mum, you came in here on Saturday. She was like, oh, I've lost a couple of days, haven't I? And I'm like, oh, yeah. So, glimmer of hope. So then I speak to the renal professor, kidney expert, doctor-y blokey, phones me up on the Thursday and says, right, the dialysis is keeping her going. They've got her on what they call mild dialysis. So it was keeping her kidneys ticking over, right? But because of other complications and things like that, they didn't know what would happen if they took her off. So he said what they were going to do is for me, not to go in and say, because they're going to try on this new drug, fusamide it was called. And basically he said it's to kickstart the kidneys. This drug to like give the kidneys a oomph to get them going again. But again, that doctor then didn't hold out much hope, sort of thing. And he said to me, he said we'll know within a few hours if it's working, because obviously your kidneys, it's your urine output. Oma wasn't peeing, basically. There was no wee output. So the fusimide was to kickstart the kidneys, get her peeing again, and hopefully that would work. But again, like I said, the renal doctor didn't hold out much hope for that one. So he says to me, if it works, we'll know. If not, we'll move her to a ward and we'll just, like the old, make her comfortable. And I'm just sort of like, oh, here we go again. That little glimmer of hope, and then it's being taken away again. And I'm just like, oh, my emotions were all over the bloody place. You know, I was up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm still up and down now to some extent. So I phone up the ICU on the Friday morning, and they go, oh yeah, she's been moved to a ward. So of course, what's the first thing that goes through my mind? Oh my God, the fusimide hasn't worked. Everybody go in and say goodbye, sort of thing. And of course, at this point, I've been in contact with my auntie. I've been in contact with other family members and things like that to let them know what's going on. So then I phone everybody and say she's been moved to a ward. And of course, everybody was then thinking, they're saying to me, oh my God, this is it. This is going in to say goodbye, sort of thing. So I go in to see her on the ward, and she's still on the fusimide drug. She's on some other stuff as well. But she's looking a lot bloody brighter. She's peeing like a good one. They had like a colostomy bag, like strapped to the side of her bed, and it was just like, they had to keep draining it because she was filling it up all the time, which is good, which is what needs to happen. So we go in on the Friday up to the ward to see her, and she's a lot brighter. She's starting to eat properly. She's drinking more. And she's like generally looking a lot bloody better. And we're like, okay, a week ago you were at death's door, and now you're doing a lot better, which is brilliant, you know. So we have a word with the consultant and the doctor and that there. And again, they're still saying like, it's working for now, but we can't guarantee it's going to keep working. And I'm thinking like, geez, can somebody just give me a straight fucking answer? You know, on the one hand, I'm looking at my mum, and she's doing brilliant. And then I'm getting told by doctors, ooh, she's not out of the woods yet. And I'm just sort of like, ugh. So anyway, over the next, like, 3 weeks or so, she's moved around in the hospital, various wards, still on this fusimide. She was on the fusimide for about over 2 weeks. And her urine output was brilliant. Everything was doing great. They even managed to sort of get her diabetes under control. She started losing weight. I'll put a picture up here of a picture I took of my mum at Christmas, and you can see how much weight she had gained. And then I'll put another picture now of one I took about a week or so ago when she was still at the BRI, and how you can see how much she's lost. She has, it was all water. It was pure water retention where her kidneys are packed up. That explained all the weight gain even before she went in hospital, and why she was having mobility problems. She couldn't move because it was painful to move because of the water retention. But yeah, she is now down to about 15.5 stone. And when she first went into hospital, they weighed her and she was 26 stone. And now she's down to 15.5. And it was pure water retention. Okay, anyway, cut a long story short, she's now been moved out to a hospital closer to me for more intense physiotherapy. She no longer has her colostomy bag in. She's drinking great. She's eating fine. She is doing brilliant. She's having a mobility problem. She's still having trouble getting up out of a chair, like pushing herself up out of a chair. Once she's up and walking around, and with her frame and everything, she's brilliant. You know, so we've got our fingers crossed that in about 4 to 6 weeks she could be home. You know, and it's just like, I've sort of got my mum back. It was like, I think I put a thing on Facebook a couple of weeks ago going like, I know my mum's getting better because she told me off. But no, so yeah, I mean, now it's all in my mum's hands. I mean, we have told her in no uncertain terms how close she came to like, bye-bye, you know, and she's sworn blind that she doesn't want to go that way again. She doesn't want to go that downhill again. So we basically sort of, well, now it's up to you. Now you have to keep on with your exercises, get your mobility back, and then, yeah, everything's going to be great. She can come home, she can pop around, she can do whatever, you know. So at the moment, yeah, fingers crossed, everything's looking brilliant. So anybody that's actually watched the whole thing, first of all, I thank you. Apologise for the the tears, but yeah, it was. Oh, the last few weeks have been an emotional roller coaster for me, like I said before. So I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for all your kind words. Oh God, now I'm going again now. Just want to thank everyone for all your kind words and your support, and to all the friends that let me like cry on the phone to them on Skype, and you know, everybody that I've been messaging and stuff like that. Thank you for everything. It really means a lot. I appreciate it so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate having someone to talk to about it. Sorry. Anyway, sorry. Apologies. But yeah, I really do appreciate everybody that's been there for me in this time. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next few weeks she could be home and things will try and get back to some semblance of normal. So anyway, thanks for watching. I've blabbered on long enough. So anyway, you all take care. I love you all, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.